Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm showing you everything that's been added, changed and fixed in Minecraft Snapshot 23w12a. So if you like Minecraft videos like this one, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft videos like this one in the future about Minecraft 1.20. Now this video is a live stream at the same time, so that's why there's no editing in it here, but we'll be going over all of the different additions, changes and fixes of the latest Minecraft snapshot for Minecraft 1.20. And this is quite a big one. There's a new structure, there's a lot of new items, lots of new blocks as well. So let's go through it. So we'll start off with some changes / additions to the sculk sensor. So yeah, I have my inventory completely full with all kinds of new features, but let's start here. So there is a new block called the calibrated sculk sensor. And there's also some changes related to the block of amethyst, which is this block over here. So let's get into that first. So I'll just grab a regular sculk sensor. There we go. So if you now use the regular sculk sensor, of course it detects any kind of sound. But you can now place an amethyst block next to it, like this. When they're placed adjacent, like this. So you can chain this up, like that. And that means that a redstone signal that is coming from this sculk sensor, that has a specific vibration, can go through these different amethyst blocks and in the end be the same vibration again. So the amethyst block will re-emit the frequency as a separate vibration at its position, is what it says. And this allows the player to move vibration frequencies along across long distances without having to recreate the vibration naturally. So if I understand it correctly, it works something like this. Let's see if I do understand this correctly. Let's see. No, I don't. Okay. But you should be able to continue on the frequency of the sculk sensor using these blocks of amethyst. But that's maybe less interesting than this new block, the calibrated sculk sensor. Because this calibrated sculk sensor is a new variant, which allows you to filter vibrations based on their frequency level. So the sculk sensor can pretty much detect any different frequency, but this one over here can be set such that you can only detect one specific frequency. So you can input a redstone signal into this sculk sensor with just, for example, a block of redstone and some redstone itself as well. So let's grab that redstone, like so. Alright, so this means that it will now only give an output when it gets a specific type of vibration. You can look up what the different types of vibrations for, or the different signal strengths for the different types of vibrations are. So that is pretty much how this works. Also, it's probably this side, because that makes more sense. There we go. And now as you can see, it can't detect my walking anymore, because it doesn't have the right kind of vibration, or right kind of signal strength. So it can only detect a couple of different things now instead of every single thing in the game, which is really, really useful. And you craft this calibrated sculk sensor using a regular sculk sensor and 3 amethyst shards. So it looks something like... Oh, we don't get to see it. Okay, let's grab the amethyst shards then. There we go. We should get the recipe, hopefully. There we go. So that is the crafting recipe for the calibrated sculk sensor. Alright, then we'll move on to some archaeology changes, some massive archaeology changes. So first of all, suspicious gravel has now been added into Java Edition as well. I've already made a video on this earlier today, on this being added into Bedrock Edition. But now it's here on Java as well. So there it is, very nice. And so it generates actually inside of the cold ocean ruins, whereas the suspicious sand now generates inside of warm ocean ruins. But before we go to that, there is also a new structure that has been added, which I wanted to show off here. You've already seen it in the thumbnail as well. So it looks something like this. So on the surface, all you'll see is something like this, just a couple of blocks being exposed. But you can actually dig down this massive structure and you'll see something like this. Of course, you won't be able to see this because this is all underground. But there's a massive structure. This is called the trail ruins, is what these are called. And they contain the suspicious sand and also suspicious gravel. So there's some suspicious gravel right there. and some suspicious sand right there. And so these are quite large structures, but you'll have to dig around to find most of it, which is quite tricky. And so in these trail ruins, you can actually find 4 different armor trims. So I believe if you use the brush on a suspicious sand, something like this, let's grab it. So like this, you'll be able to find those armor trims, and you'll also be able to find a whole lot more pottery shards. So we weren't that lucky there. But right here, well, there we go. That's one of the armor trims right there. So that is indeed how you get those armor trims, just from brushing up the suspicious gravel or suspicious sand in this new structure. And there's quite a few different items you can find in here, such as, for example, this yellow dye. And there we go. There are some... What is that? Ah, it's actually a hanging sign. Oh no, it's the regular sign. Right? I think it's a hanging sign. Very nice. So you can get lots of loot from these new structures if you just use your brush all throughout. But of course you have to be careful, because this suspicious sand and suspicious gravel can break quite easily if you break blocks below them. There's some glass panes as well. We'll of course go through all of these different things you can find in these structures in more detail in a future video. But there we go, we can now see indeed that we find some pottery shards. And that is definitely possible, because they've actually added 16 new pottery shards to this snapshot as well. So that is quite a lot. We only had 4 before, but now there's 20 in total. And I've actually put the different pottery shards on some pots over here, so we can take a look at them. So first of all, we'll take a look in the inventory. So we'll search for pottery shards. So here are all 20 of them. We have angler, archer, arms up, blade, brewer, burn, danger, explorer, friend, heart, heartbreak, howl, miner, mourner, plenty, prize, sheaf, shelter, skull, and snort. And so we can see all of those right here as well. So you can see the angler right there, archer, the arms up, and the blade. And then here we can see the others as well, with the potion and the burn and the creeper. Very cool. And there's this one as well, which seems like a sort of map, for example. This, I'm not 100% sure. This is like a nice heart. There's a heart broken. And there's a wolf howling. There's the prize one, the miner. And there's a warden one. And there's this one as well. And it seems like an open chest. Then right over here, we have one that looks like a mushroom. This one right here, maybe like a flower. The sniffer one and the skull one. I really think the sniffer one is very, very nice. Looks great. So those are the 20 pottery shards that are now available in the game. That's quite a lot more than we had before, so that's really useful, or well useful. You can decorate them, decorate using these a whole lot more now. And so I did mention before that you can find those 4 new armor trims there in the trail ruins, the new structure. And so those are the Wayfinder, Razor, Host, and Shaper armor trims. And so currently I actually have the Silence armor trim on, which is a 5th new armor trim. This 5th new armor trim you can find inside of the ancient city structure. So there's now 2 you can find in the ancient city structure. This one and also the ward one, I believe. Or is that called something else? Smithing template. It is this one. No, not the snout. This one. Yeah, ward. I was correct. Okay. So then, yeah, let's take a look at those other 4 armor sets as well. So this is the one you can find in the ancient city. And then as for the ones you can find in the new structure, the trail ruins, we'll start with Wayfinder. That one looks something like this. This is the... Wait. Yes. I did mess that up. There we go. This is the Wayfinder trail armor trim. Then next we have Razor, which looks something like this. They're all quite, well, I'd say minimalistic. These the trail ruin armor trims. Then there's Shaper, which is this one over here. This one actually has a lighter tint of green here because I used the emeralds on the netherite armor. So that's what this one looks like. And finally, we have the Host armor trims, which look something like this right here. This is the Host armor trims. Alright. Then next we will move on. So I believe that is it for that. Yes. So we'll move on to the Sniffer egg. So the Sniffer egg can be found inside of the suspicious sand inside of the warm ocean ruins. And so it looks something like this. I've been holding it in my offhand this entire time. But we can place it down on the ground, and this is what the sniffer egg looks like. And so the sniffer egg will actually hatch into a sniffer after 20 minutes. However, if you place it on the moss blocks, which I have over here, it will hatch in 10 minutes. So of course you can find these in suspicious sand in the ocean, in the warm ocean biomes. Place them down on some moss, and after 10 minutes you'll have your beautiful sniffer. And furthermore, if 2 sniffers breed, so we'll grab 2 of those. And we'll grab the item, which I believe is still pink pellets. I'm not 100% sure on that, but let's check. No. Then... Oh, it's moss blocks, of course. I forgot. No? Okay, it's no longer moss blocks. Okay, then I don't know. Well, anyway, if the sniffers breed, they will drop a snifflet. Instead of spawning a snifflet, they'll actually drop one of these sniffer eggs. For some reason, this doesn't work anymore. Okay, I don't know. Anyway, the sniffer is now also able to sniff up a new seed. So, let's see. There's one sniffing up right here. Of course, previously we had the torchflower seed, which is that one right there. But there's a new seed the sniffer can sniff up. So let's see if we can find that, if we can get that. We'll summon in a couple of sniffers here, see if any of them find the new seed. In the meantime, I'll just show it, because it is the pitcher plant seed, or the pitcher pod. And we've already seen this. The torchflower. Ah, okay, the torchflower. Thank you, thank you. So if you want to breed the sniffers, you now have to use the torchflower, apparently. No? Torchflower seeds, maybe? I might just be stupid. Yeah, there we go. Thank you, thank you. Yes. So it's torchflower seeds for the sniffers to be able to breed. And we see right there, we've already have some sniffer eggs, or those are the ones that I placed. No, okay, they just drop it just like that. There we go. So that is how the sniffer breeding now works. And let's see if any of them found the new pitcher pot. It seems like most of them actually found the torchflower. Yeah, those are all just torchflowers. Okay. Well, maybe this guy can do it. You're in the way. Okay, no, another torchflower seed. Anyway, we can get the pitcher pot. And so this one you can actually place down on side of farmland. So let's grab a hoe. Like this. Some serious dedication right there. And we can place down our pitcher pot. Just like this. We'll also grab some bone meal so we can bone meal it up. Like this. So there's 5 different stages. We just saw the first one. This is the second stage. The third stage. Ah, okay, there's 5 stages, of course. Bone meal does multiple stages at once. But this is a full pitcher plant. We've already seen this before in League by Roger Badgerman. But he has now been sadly... well, he won't do any more leaks in the future. Let's just say that. So let's place a couple of these down. And we can see the different stages here again as well. So there's the 4th stage probably. And there's the final stage in one go as well. How is it possible that I know? Okay, I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So there's the different stages. We saw a couple of them in the meantime already. And so then you can harvest this pitcher plant and get this item right here. It's just a 2 tall flower, which you can place down anywhere in your world if you want. You can see that the box below it actually disappears if you harvest it. And that is what it looks like. A beautiful new flower. And you can turn it into cyan dye if you want. And there we go. So I feel like those are the main additions of this snapshot. A lot has been added here. So there's, just to summarize, there's the new structure, which we have down here, the trail ruins. These include 4 new armor trims. The ancient city has a new armor trim. There's also 16 new pottery shards, which we can see right over here. There is the new sniffer eggs you can find in the suspicious sand in the warm ocean ruins. And then there's also the new pitcher pot and pitcher plants you can find for using the sniffer. And then also there's of course the calibrated sculk sensor. So a whole lot of new features in this snapshot. Then there's also quite a bit of changes to the vibration frequencies. If that's interesting to you, then you can read through that. And there's also quite a few technical changes, but I won't go into that too much in detail here. I'll leave the patch notes in the description down below, so you can read through those yourself. But anyway, there we go. Those are the main additions of Minecraft Snapshot 23w12a. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you liked it, then please make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Minecraft 1.20 videos in the future. And so anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope to see you all in the next one. Until then, bye bye!